This is the most powerful way to manifest love. Period. That's it. So if you are watching this video, my friend, then you've probably went to the YouTube search and wrote something, how to manifest love, how to attract my specific person, how to make my specific person conform to me and love me. But here is the thing, everybody on YouTube, all the people on YouTube, they're talking about these techniques and like manipulations of reality and metaphysical mechanical concepts of how you can attract and experience love as if it exists on the outside, which is complete bullshit. Sorry to tell you that, but think about it really objectively. Love is always an inside experience. Every time you have experienced love, it was coming from the inside. You might have had perception about the outside, about what somebody else said to you, and they triggered this feeling of love. But the feeling of love was always coming from the inside. It was generated from within your heart. So any type of technique that you do that is there to manipulate, to shift, to change the outward expression of reality so that you can experience love is actually not the direct path. It's not the direct way to experience love. It's as if you're going to through a longer road on the outside. And so because it's like love is always an inside experience. Like every time you have experienced this feeling, it has always been an inside thing. So in this video, my intention is to show you a 3-step process of how you can connect and like perceive the love that is already contained within that moment, even though your specific person might be rejecting you, even though circumstances might look like as if they're not showing you any clear signs that you're being loved by people around you. Because if love is always an inside experience, then this means that it is always contained inside of this moment. So, and you can experience love by having a perception about what the outside means, what a circumstance, what somebody else said, what you have experienced as an outcome of some action that you were doing. You might have a perception about any of those things that help you experience that love. But here is the other funny thing, which is that anything on the outside is actually a perception you experience on the inside. Now let that sink in for the moment. Everything that you experience on the outside is a perception in your mind that you're experiencing inside your inner world. Meaning that love is always an inside experience. It is always contained in this moment. It is always contained within your perception. So the way to experience love is not to make your specific person say something to you so that you feel validated and feel love. No, the way to experience love, the love of the moment, is to shift your perception about what your specific person has said so that you can see the love contained in what they already said. And I'll give you an example with myself by the end of the video so that I make this a little bit more practical and not just stay on the abstract side of things. But first, I want to read you one quote from the Wall of One, if you have heard that. That's the raw material. It's basically a channeled material that helps seekers go through their spiritual journey and like align their life to their spiritual journey. It's like a really beautiful material. I suggest it to everybody. So here is one quote from Ra. This moment contains love. That is the lesson goal of this illusion or density. Illusion or density, this means our dimension of experience. The goal of the physical reality is for us to be able to perceive with consistently on a moment-to-moment basis the love that is contained within this moment. This moment is every moment. It's not like as if this moment is special. It's every moment. So the exercise is to continuously seek that love in awareness and understanding the distortion. Understanding the distortion, this means that, well, because love is always distorted, right? So, for example, when your specific person doesn't message you back or like they're not as interested in spending time with you as you are with them, it seems as if in this moment you can't experience love. But here is the tricky part. Like, And here is why it's so crucial to accept the fact that love is an inside experience. Because if it's always an inside experience, then it becomes your responsibility to shift your perception about, like, what could your specific person rejecting you mean to you. How would you perceive that? How would you shift your perception of that so that you can see the love contained within that moment? And I'll give you an example with, again, this imaginary uh, potential experience that we are giving that we are having an example of. So let's assume, for example, that your specific person is rejecting you. They're not showing as much interest as you are to them, and so you feel as if they're not loving you, as if you're not important for them. And so here is how you can shift that perception: by first being aware that, okay, your perception is creating your experience. That being the case, if your perception is that you felt rejected, then it becomes your responsibility to see, aha, my specific person is just reflecting back to me unconscious belief that I've had that is currently influencing my way of perceiving this moment, so that I feel the lack of love. So, in fact, the reason that is happening, the reason that my specific person is rejecting me, is that they're reflecting back to me my unconscious belief system, and this is a sign of love, because I am so loved from the whole universe, from the whole of existence, which is complete. Again, this is something which Neville speaks about, that existence is complete, but maybe this is a topic for another video. So since existence is complete, and it's like, since there is love contained in this moment, if I feel rejected by my specific person, this actually means that they're showing back to me an unconscious part of my awareness, of my psyche, that now is getting triggered, is getting back into conscious awareness, so that out of love, I can see that and decide to let it go. And decide to feel the love within, even though I am rejected. And see how they might have rejected me because maybe they're showing me my lack of confidence or my lack of self-love. So here is just an example way of how you can shift your perception. But ultimately, there are three steps. Like, there are three steps to do that consistently in each moment. And I know it's challenging, but it is always worth it, my friend. Even though it's challenging, it's always worth it to search for the perspective which allows you to experience the love contained within this moment. So the trick is to shift your perception of the moment in front, so that you can allow the love contained in it to flow through you. And the way to do that, like something that I have found really useful in my experience and with many of the people I work with, is just asking this one simple question. Because if love is contained within this moment, this means that it's, again, your responsibility to shift your perception. So you can ask yourself this question: how does love experience this moment? If I were dumb, if I were accept for a moment that I'm stupid, like I am not I am unenlightened, my awareness is distorted, and if I accept that, then how would love experience this moment? What would the perception of love be about this moment? And so the only way you can answer this question genuinely, you can contemplate it and let an answer come to you, is by, again, this is the third step now. You can only answer this question if you let go of your righteousness, if you let go of what you think is right, if you let go of your offended feelings, if you let go of your disappointed feelings, if you let go of your hurt feelings. And those feelings, they come up with a perception that you're so attached to about what this experience in front of you means to you, that if you were to let go from that perception, then then and only then you can open yourself up to answering this question: how does love experience this moment? And then and only then you can see how it makes sense, this example that I gave you previously, that maybe, how does love see this moment? Well, my specific person is reflecting an unconscious belief of mine that this is how love operates. Like, love, I am loved so much that I experience circumstances that reflect my belief system, so that I can make the choice to let them go and see how loved I am from in that moment. And then you can basically be ironic or make fun of that moment. And it's like, you doesn't necessarily have to feel offended about it. And so the more of these little experiences you have, in which you can open yourself up to the love already contained within this moment, the more you will be surrounded by love on the outside. So the more love you can feel on the inside by shifting your perception consistently anytime you feel triggered. And this requires for you to identify and become aware of your limiting beliefs, to know when they're triggered, and to be present with your feelings and work with them, and let go of your need to be right. Why do you need to be right? What are you protecting? Are you protecting your like victimhood? Is it worth it? Probably it's not worth it, right? So it's safe to let go of your righteousness. It's safe to let go of your need to be right, because the moment you let go of it, this exact moment is when you're able to open yourself up to the love contained within a perception you can choose about what the moment in front of you means to you. And so this is how you answer the question: how does love see this? How does love experience this moment? And let me give you an example with a situation of mine that happened just yesterday, actually. So I was basically buying a new headphones, like a new AirPods, because I want to be a full Apple gear. And but I wanted like to buy. I wanted to get them cheap, right? It's a funny thing. So, and anyways, eventually I got scammed, and I was feeling a little offended of that. I was feeling like, what the fuck? How? Why? And so eventually I remembered how before in my life, like a couple of years back, I was doing similar things to other people, and now this was just reflecting back to me. So I was able to let go of it. But then sharing about this experience to my specific person, then she just like she intensified how naive I were to have trusted that person, because she also had that belief that people are not like, you can't necessarily trust everybody, and I am a little bit more trusting, let's say, or comfortable to trust. And first, I felt really offended by her response, because she was making me feel bad. She was like, I perceived this moment as if she's saying to me, "You're dumb. You shouldn't have done that. Like, what the fuck? Grow up, right?" So, and I felt really offended by that. And I was holding on to that point of view for a while. And then eventually, I remembered this concept. And by remembering this concept, I was like, okay, I am making myself hurt because I believe that she wasn't caring for me in this moment, and she was being too harsh on me, let's say. And I feel as if I am the fear that I had that she doesn't care for me was being triggered, and it was influencing my perception. And so I was like, okay, what if I were to let go of that? How would love see this moment? And here is the funny thing. Now, by asking myself this question, then I needed to answer also the question: what am I sacrificing by holding on to this righteous belief system that I am hurt and she does not care for me, because she said that I'm naive by doing this. And so by letting, what do I have to sacrifice? I had to sacrifice my righteousness, my pridefulness, the need to be right. And by letting go of that, instantly the point of view that she was actually caring about me, it was like her attitude was of care. She was caring about me so that I don't get scammed again, because I was contemplating of ordering a new pair of headphones, which are authentic now. And so I was instantly able to perceive the love contained in that moment. And then I was grateful. And so it shifted in a moment. Before, I was feeling prideful, I was feeling angry, I was feeling arrogant. And then by asking myself this sequence of questions, this 3-step process I told you, like first remembering, I need to shift my perception of the moment to see the love contained within it. Then, how does love experience this? And what is blocking me to see that, to see how does love experience this? Okay, what is blocking me is my righteousness, my need to be right. What do I want to prove to myself? That I am like, that I don't deserve my specific person to care for me? Is that what I want to prove? And so it didn't make sense anymore. So I needed to sacrifice that point of view, give it back to love. And here is the funny thing: when you're giving your point of view back to love, you need to be courageous about it. So you need to be certain that there is always a higher point of view, which is that of love. And so this is how you can open yourself up to perceiving the love of the moment. And so then, like, instantly, when you let go of your righteousness, instantly the point of view contained within that moment that is coming from love is available to you. And if you see it, then you're grateful. And so that's how I transitioned from being angry, feeling offended, feeling righteous and arrogant, to feeling grateful in like 10 minutes of contemplation. It was 10 minutes of resistance. The contemplation was like a couple of minutes, but before that I was resisting. So this is how it works, my friend. This is what you can do. Like, understand that if you want to manifest love, the most effective way to manifest love is to consistently in your life perceive the love that is already contained in this moment. The more you do that, the more love you experience on the outside, and people will start reflecting that back to you, because your perception will shift, and when your perception shifts, other people's behavior shift also. So it's beautiful, and then you can experience like really deep and intimate conversations and beautiful moments with other people around you, not just your specific person. In my case, eventually this led to this beautiful, intimate, emotionally deep conversation that we had. But generally, this is what happens consistently once you start shifting your perception. And so now I wanted to just invite you to a training I have. It's basically a 3-phase training that shows you how you can surround yourself with only conscious, uplifting, and meaningful relationships in like 4 months. The 3 phases you'll go through. So if you're excited to check out this training, and if it sounds like something you're interested about, see it in the comments below. Register for it. You can just input your email and name, and then you can just watch it on demand on the second page. And then if you need any help, like investigating and letting go of your limiting beliefs, after the training, you can schedule a strategy session, a discovery call with me, where we can freely talk about that and just connect. So if you're excited about this, I would love to see you and connect with you. That being the case, thank you so much for watching, my friend. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end of the video. If you found it valuable, like it, comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm Daniel, your host. And please, if you like it, it's like this is how you help it reach more people. So if you found it valuable, like it so that it reaches more people. Thank you so much. See you around in the channel. I love you. Bye-bye for now.